So I just wanted to show what I'm doing right now over here. That's my little setup for doing a time lapse of a channeled whelk egg case. And you can see the camera is on a tripod. And looking down, it's set up for the time lapse mode. And I have my egg in a little bath of water with a light directly below it, so it really gives nice illumination. And we'll get to see how the snails crawl around inside the egg, what behaviors they might have. It's interesting that there's 60, it could be anywhere between 30 and 60. I've counted as many as 60 in one egg. And the thing I was thinking about was how Williamson's idea that certain animals have adopted a larval stage. These animals don't have a swimming trochophore stage. They develop directly into the adult snail, if I'm not mistaken, on channeled whelks. And so they're lacking a larval stage, and it would be interesting then to analyze the contents of the egg to see if they have some early stage environment that when you compare the two to what's present. So again, with my idea that the fusion of animals occurs because of symbiosis, and then later some full connection. So if you have a harsh environment and one animal seeks refuge in another because its environment is good, then that gives you an idea of why they're doing it. That they just can survive. It's one body is entirely different environment. So looking at each individual host as a separate ecosystem, it would just be interesting to see that maybe that's the reason why. Maybe it's has some harsh chemical that they're seeking refuge from, or and then the way the capsules are in cuttlefish. There was a paper out how the membrane is really dense with bacterium, and might even be a bacterial mat. So if it's a bacterial mat, then maybe there's a symbiosis going on just to have the egg cases be made by bacterium, and then the eggs are inserted into it. So that's interesting in itself. So again, that's sort of like going in paracatafungogenesis, the idea that the placenta is some other animal, is just a nurse animal that is co-opted to allow humans to grow, and then it's discarded. Similar to the way starfish have what's presumed now is their larval state, but it might actually just be a separate animal that does the incubation of the starfish itself. I think it's Ceresia, the one that lets go of the starfish, and then the larva continues, the larval phase continues to live on as a separate animal, feeding. So these are some of the ideas behind my premise with that. So we'll see how the time lapse turns out, just for hoots.